I bet you guys are really annoyed that I made you wait like 2 days for this, aren't you? Hey, if I were you, I would be too. The next afternoon, Shu curls up in a corner of his bed and with Natsume's laptop and starts going through the data. You're not going to stay cooped up in here all day, are you? Maybe. Not like there's much else for me to do right now. I guess. Okay, well, I'm going out. See you later, Chiaki. Chiaki exits the room and leaves Shu alone with his thoughts. There's a lot of spreadsheets and sciencey stuff I don't get, but there's also this text file with notes on the murders, so he really was there for all of them. He thinks back to the scene of Masaharu's murder. It was Natsume, that's why he seemed really calm every time something happened. He already knew what was going on. Despite his aversion towards math, Shu skims through one of the spreadsheets labelled Fuyuka Echoes and finds a list of dates. Each of these dates corresponds to one of the murders, I think. I didn't keep track exactly, but it looks about right. My problem here is that I just don't, for the most part, take things at face value. So this could just be some sort of evil, and Fuyuka's actually, like... Nah, we saw her almost talk through us. So, I guess it's not quite the same. Hang on, she touches someone and kills them? I thought Yukinari drowned. What do you mean? Touches someone and explodes? So that works for Masaharu. It doesn't work for Yukinari because he drowned. How did Chiaki die? Oh yeah, he was stabbed, so that's different. But Yukinari drowned. He didn't explode into loads of bloody little pieces, did he? Huh. Whatever. And the day that Natsume went into a coma, that day he remembers clearly, but the date listed to the next to the last echo is off by an entire day. Is this why Natsume got into a coma? He messed up his calculations and Fuyuka's echo got him? Ah, shit. Or like barely touched him or something. Got near him? Hard to say. Shu shakes his head to try and keep the memories at bay, so I just need to warn him. I have no idea what to do about him being in a coma, but if I stop him from ever getting into that coma, it should be okay, right? Still, Shu can think of no easy way to do that. I already searched his room. Wait. Shu notices another folder inside the drive that's labelled Mementos. When he navigates inside the folder, he sees a number of files with strange extensions. A few of the files are labelled. Pill bottle, recipe, these are two things that jump at him. I wonder, there's got to be a reason he named the folder Mementos, right? Shu examines the watch on his wrist and notices the USB port. That's right, Time Machine's keeping up with the modern man. Just to try it out, he ejects the USB drive and plugs into his watch. After a few moments, it beeps. Memento data detected. Import mementos? Oh, cool. They fucking should have done this ages ago. Just saying. Man, if I'd known before that I could save memento data, it would have made things easier. Damn Natsume for holding out on me. Okay, I'm completely focused on saving Natsume. I'm not going to do anything else until that's been taken care of. I don't think there's any point to looking any further than the dorms for more mementos, though. Everything I need to save Natsume is probably right here somewhere. There's no time to be lost. I've got to save my brother. Can we look? We can look for mementos? If that's an option, there has to be one, doesn't there? There has to be. Change sub-area, Yukinari and Natsume's room. I refuse to believe that there is not a memento around somewhere. It's a book in some sort of foreign language. Nietzsche, that's like German. How do you pronounce that? Yukinari's got some interesting tastes. No. That'll just lead to some sort of weird... Alright, let's keep looking. Can we go to school? Change sub-area. We don't want to change sub-area, do we? Okay, let's just go to the common room for the hell of it. Can we go out to school? No, because we have to be here until... Okay, sure, let's just import Memento from the laptop. So, bottle of pills. It's a bottle of sleeping pills. Natsume was still using these? Maybe he wasn't? And that's why he was so weirded out when we brought them up? Yeah, we should scan it. Slot 4. Okay, so the next one we have to rub over something, right? It's a recipe for some kind of cheesecake. Looks like Natsume's handwriting. Yep. Yep. What don't we need? That one. That one is... I just saw that one. That looks like the most useless. Look for mementos. We're going to, just for, I think, role-playing purposes, we're going to go to Shu's room and not fucking start, you know, weirdly teleporting in the common room, you know? Okay. Return. I said return. Thank you. Okay, what now? Use the time machine. So was it 3 and 4? Stealth. I thought I deleted over that. I deleted over 5? Oh no, I deleted the blurry photo. I didn't. That was the one I was thinking of deleting. What's this? Okay, we should have just deleted that. Alright, let's go this one in stealth mode. This is the 17th. So he wasn't... Oh, of course he couldn't have been in the coma. It's linked to Natsume. Shu finds his brother standing outside a pharmacy close to the confectionery store where he works out. Natsume is standing outside, paper bag in hand. He lifts the bag and squints at it, furrowing his brow in frustration or despair. Shu can't find which. I guess those are the sleeping pills. Suddenly, Natsume cries out in pain and doubles over. Natsume! Despite knowing that his brother can't hear or see him, Shu can't stifle his worry. He can't decide whether it's better or worse that Natsume doesn't know that he's here. Natsume flinches in pain and his breathing sounds ragged and raw as he leans against the wall, clutching his chest. But the echo didn't appear yet, did it? Why is he like this? Still, when Shu thinks of all his brother has gone through, somehow the scene before him seems more believable. Of course he'd be stressed out and getting sick. But why didn't he just tell me about what was going on? Even while thinking about this, however, Shu knows the answer all too well. In the eyes of his older protective brother, he'll always just be a child. But in the eyes of someone investigating a time-transcending murderer, perhaps he's more of a threat. Calm. I've got to stay calm. A few deep breaths later, Natsume's breathing finally stabilizes. He glances at the paper bag in his hand and laughs derisively. When we are born, we're given a specific number of years to live, so it can't be helped. Right? Another Kokoro reference? That's a grim thing to say out loud. Jesus. Natsume pushes himself from the wall and staggers off in the general direction of the dorms. Natsume. Shu is filled with dread when he thinks about what happens at the end of Kokoro and what implications that might have for Natsume's mental state. I've got to talk to him and make everything right. He decides to walk back to the present to prepare to confront his brother. Okay, no, we're not doing that immediately. We're going to see what's on the other one, because that one looks like we might want to see it live. Okay, so now we've got to use this one, I think? Yeah. This was August. Christ, that was a while ago. Shu warps into the confectionery that Natsume works at and takes a seat to watch the scene before him. I wonder why Natsume saved this as a memento. Maybe he just saves everything he can but doesn't think too hard about it. Natsume is sitting behind the counter, a bored look on his face. Natsume. Oh, boss? How many customers have come in today? There was a rush in the early afternoon, but it's been a little slow since then. I see, that's pretty normal for a Sunday. The boss returns to the back room, leaving Natsume on his own at the front. Absolutely, Natsume pulls out a piece of paper and begins scribbling away on it. Shu gets up to take a closer look. He's buying the cakes. Oh, it's the cheesecake recipe. No, okay, it's not. I don't really get it, but it sounds like it'd taste good. Salted caramel, it's pretty Western. About 20 minutes go by before the boss returns to the front of the store. What have you got there, Natsume? Just a recipe I was thinking up. Can I have a look? Go right ahead. Is it just me, or is Natsume a lot more casual with his boss compared to before? This sounds great. Salty and sweet flavours are supposedly trendy with young people nowadays. I'm not sure how much true that is. And that sounds horrible. I guess I have to say that. I didn't put that much thought into it, so I don't know if the recipe will be usable as it is, though. I can work with this. If you're bored, you should think up some more recipes. It helps me a lot more when you write them down like this. You know I'm going to be quitting when I graduate, though, right? You shouldn't rely so much on my work. I know you've mentioned that before, but I strongly believe that you should reconsider. Look, you have a lot of promise as a patissier. That's right, I know how to fucking pronounce that word. It's a waste for you to try to be a salaryman or whatnot at some startup. This again? I don't make enough money here. I'd be happy to hire you full-time after you graduate, and I'll even help pay for you to go to culinary school. I've told you this before. Exactly what are you dissatisfied with? What? Shu is completely blindsided by the scene before him. Natsume always talks about how mean his boss is to him, how he'd quit this job if only there was something better, but to me it sounds like this old man's bending over backwards to make him comfortable. It's not a matter of being dissatisfied, I just have no interest in being a pastry chef for the rest of my life. What do you want to do with your life then? I don't know, invent a time machine? What? Nothing. Boss, I'm sorry, but I don't want to rehash this argument. I'm quitting in the spring, so you need to find someone else to work for you once I'm gone. If you go on living your life without getting attached to anything like this, you're going to end up unhappy. And I'm not just saying that because I want you to keep working here. Trust me, I'm plenty unhappy now. I'm really confused by what I just saw. Feeling that he's seen enough, Shu decides to return to the present. What in the shit just happened there? Alright, we'll go in for that one first, just because I think we can get away with it. Do that one and then the other one. I think once you do the other one, we won't be able to redo it. The story will just sort of go on naturally. So let's do this one first. Hope, anyway. Shu warps into the confectionery while still invisible. He decides to wait a little bit for a better time to appear. Natsume is sitting behind the counter. Yeah, okay, so we know this. We just need to skip until the moment we come in. Okay, tab doesn't work. Oh, okay, it's this bit. Seeing this as his chance, Shu phases through the front door of the confectionery, materializes outside, and then walks up to the place normally. There's a soft jingle from a bell as he opens the door and goes inside. Hey Natsume. Natsume looks up from his paper. Shu, what are you doing here? I was bored, so I thought I'd just drop by. Hearing the sound of a potential customer, the boss comes back from the back room. His business smile disappears, however, as soon as he sees that it's Shu. This isn't a playground, you know. It's not like there's anyone in here I can bother. I'll make myself scarce once customers come in. Actually, if you need any help, I can help out. I'm just taking inventory of ingredients. 2 eyes are better than 1, right? Shu, I think you mean 4 eyes are better than 2? Yeah, that's what I said. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and assume he meant sets. Never mind. Natsume's boss sighs. I don't need help with inventory, but I was planning on putting up some filters on the front window later. Think you could help out with that? I suppose it's better to do it while it's still light out. Sure, then I'll get them from the back. The boss disappears back into the storage room. Are you sure you'll be okay, Shu? We're just hanging up flyers. What's the big deal? Nothing, just... Alright, let's go. The boss returns and ushers Shu outside before Natsume can say any more. What did we do there? Other than, disrupt a scene that was already going to happen. I think we just fucked up, lads. Once outside, Shu and Natsume's boss work together to hang up the flyers. You're taller, so I'll pass them to you and then you should tape them up. Do you think we need a stepladder or anything? There's no need to put them up so high or else people won't be able to read them. You've got a point. Take those old flyers down first. Okay. 2 of them work in silence for a little while before Shu decides to ask some questions that have been weighing on his mind. So, Natsume planning to quit in the spring, huh? The boss sighs. I'm just afraid that's better. He's told you about that, has he? A fine waste. You think your brother's talented too, don't you? Well, he is pretty good at cooking, I guess. There's a difference between cooking and baking. Let's just establish that right now. Huge difference. Whatever. I would be more than happy to fund his education if he would continue working here. So you like Natsume a lot? Are you kidding? He's my only employee. If I don't like him, who else am I going to like? I put up with a lot of his demands, demands? Natsume's boss looks like he said something that he shouldn't have, but decides to go on after looking over his shoulder to make sure that no one else is in earshot. For example, he's told me not to be too nice to him when you or your older brother are around. Huh? Why? My guess is he doesn't want it to look like he's having too easy of a time. I never get what that kid is thinking. I also haven't hired anyone else in order to keep being able to pay him a high wage. That sounds really unsound for a business. The boss shrugs. Business is fairly slow when he's not around anyway. If I really needed the workers, I would hire them. So Natsume was lying about work being hard. That or this old guy is lying through his teeth about all this? Probably not. While taping up the flyers, Shu looks down at Natsume's boss, but his demeanor is fairly relaxed. He doesn't get anything out of lying to me anyway. If he's got nothing else he wants to do with his future, I think being a patissier would be a good fit for him. You didn't want to use Natsume's ideas before, though, I remember. Oh, you're talking about a couple of months ago? Well, that was right around the time he started going on about how he's going to quit. A lot of customers already come here just to see him as it is. If I put too much of his stuff in the lineup, won't that make it even harder for me once it's gone? Everything suddenly makes sense. You can't believe that he could be surprised by anything at this point, but naturally, this is a shock. After putting up the last flyer, he and the boss go back inside the confectionery. Man, that's weird as shit. I came up with a new recipe, boss. Oh! He glances at you before clearing his throat. I see, I'll take a look at it later. Thank you for your consideration. I'm going back to the storeroom. If any real customers come and they need anything from me, let me know. Got it. He leaves the two Mamma Mia brothers alone. Hope he didn't give you a hard time or anything. Nah, it was fine. You worry too much, Natsume. I can't help it. If you had younger siblings, you'd understand, Shu. I understand so much more than you, buddy. I'm sorry. What is it? Well, Shu breathes a sharp intake of air. Look, beating around the bush isn't really my style, so I'll just say it. I heard everything from your boss. Everything? What do you mean by that? Like how he actually treats you pretty well and stuff? I see. Natsume grips the pen in his hand. Shu can hear the creak of the plastic and vaguely hopes the pen doesn't explode. I mean, why didn't you just say, I got your boss to tell me, as opposed to your boss told me? Like, come on, you're throwing him under a fucking bus. Hang on, I just realised something. That there is... So these are the prices for the whole cakes, right? Because this is $50, this is $25, this is $3? The fuck is in that? Yes, it's made with the finest of dog shit and pink food colouring. Like, $3! I always knew you had a habit of, like, being clingy towards me and Masaharu, but lying's kind of taking it a bit far. You don't understand the fears I have, Shu. You're right, I don't. But are they so bad that you have to lie to me to make yourself feel better? Please don't make me lose my trust in you. You're my elder brother. I always care about you. Both of those seem like shit answers. Please don't make me lose my trust in you. That's being a clingy back. You're my older brother. I'll always care about you. We tried doing that before. I think we tried saying something similar to that in the moment where he cornered us onto the fucking bridge. We'll do that one. If this is bad, we'll scroll back and get to the other one. You're my older brother, remember? Even if you're doing fine at work and all, I still care about you. You don't have to pretend to have a hard time just to get some sympathy out of me. Don't I? No, just talk to me. There's no point in doing this sort of thing and then barely talking to me the rest of the time. I suppose you're right. I'm sorry you were surprised. Now just stop doing this kind of thing. I'll consider it. I hope that's not code for, I know you don't like the thing I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing the thing. Haha. This isn't something to haha about. It's also means that he's going to keep doing it. But the air is a lot less tense, so Shu hopes that his brother is really taking his words to heart. Okay, we'll do the other option, because that didn't seem like a good one. You've always done a lot for me and Masaharu, for everyone. I don't always admit it, but I really appreciate the things you've done. I know you don't have it easy, and on top of that, you're a self-sacrificing type. Even if you don't do stuff like this, I'll still worry about you, Shu. So please don't make me lose my trust in you. I care about you a lot, but part of me already can't trust you. Natsume turns away from Shu slightly and looks up at the ceiling. That's the bad answer. Okay, that's the one where he's just like, lol, whatevs, mate. I suppose you're right. I like this one better. I'll see you later, Natsume. Be careful walking home. One of those is a shockingly bad answer. He walks out of the confectionery, his heart feeling somewhat lighter. End of Memento, time period reached. Yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. When Time Machine speaks at us, it'd be much nicer if it didn't. Right, now we need to go... no, bollocks, we don't need to do that at all. We need to use our time machine. Something annoying about the way the buttons work is they... you can only click on them once they fully materialize. So there's like a, I don't know, like 3/4 of a second where you click on it, but it won't work. Hence why it's slightly awkward sometimes. Use the time machine. Pills, that one. And this is hopefully where we're going to save him from murder. Shu makes no attempt to hide his appearance as he usually does. He materializes right in front of Natsume, worry etched between his eyebrows. Shu? Natsume looks worse for wear. His breaths are uneven and heaving. You don't look surprised to see me. I'm not surprised, but I am uneasy. You appearing like this means something very serious has happened. That is, you already have some idea of what I've been doing, don't you? I've heard everything. Shu trails off, eyeing the bag in Natsume's hand. Instead of taking those, you could have... What do you know, Shu? These are the only things that help me get by. I've had to kill Fuyuka over and over. I know, but you can't blame yourself, Natsume. You shouldn't. That wasn't Fuyuka. That was someone who wasn't speaking to you, they were speaking through you. They knew you were there, they couldn't acknowledge your presence. That wasn't her. Even while knowing that it's the right thing to do, even while knowing that this is the punishment I deserve for letting her die the first time. Deserve? All while being unable to tell you about it. I just had to watch. I always have to watch, as if it's not hard enough. I never wanted you to hear all this. I didn't want you to see me like this. Why couldn't you just leave well enough alone? I was dragged into this. Fuck it, let's just walk off. Balls to him. We can't. But we should. How could I? Do you really think I could just let you die? What do you mean? The reason I'm here, you screwed up. Or I should say you will screw up. When you do your calculations tomorrow, you're going to be off. Then Fuyuka's echo will catch you off guard and you'll end up in a coma. Natsume looks surprised for only a moment. Natsume, maybe it's better that way. He laughs, but it's a harsh, ugly sound. What are you saying? The fact you're here means the echo is dispelled, right? Go back and I'm sure the future me will help you out again. You two solve this. What? You're saying I should just let you die? Yeah. Go back into the present and pull the plug. Taken aback by his brother's harsh words, Shu doesn't know what to say at first. There's only one fucking option here. That's ridiculous. I know Natsume feels guilty over everything that's happened. I'm sure he didn't want to hide things from me. Since getting the time machine, I've learned a lot of things. I understand myself better, but Natsume's just been running away. Whether it's in the past or now, he hasn't changed. He's stuck. To love is to sin. What? Your laptop password has got that quote as a hint. Oh, it's from Kokoro, but of course you figured that out, otherwise you wouldn't be here. I think it's wrong. What do you mean? I don't think that just because you love someone it's inherently sinful. Not everyone has to get hurt. Not everyone has to feel guilt. I don't understand. Everything you've done to protect me while trying to figure out what I'm doing, right? I don't understand. You don't enjoy getting rid of Fuyuka's echoes either, obviously. So I don't think you should wallow in guilt. Her death wasn't your fault, it was an accident. The fact that you have to get rid of those echoes, that's not your fault either. Do you really believe that? Even though Mum and Dad, I really believe it. So please don't tell me that you want to die. You don't deserve punishment. You've suffered enough. Shu? So let's take care of this together, okay? Shu wipes his tears and then holds his hand out to Natsume, who stares at it for a few seconds before taking it and pulling Shu into a hug. That was the right one. What? I'm sorry for lashing out like that. It was pretty sneaky of me. I wanted to hear you say those things. I wanted to know that you didn't hate me. Of course I don't hate you, Natsume. But I will if you don't let go of me. Oh. Natsume lets go, his face looking a little lonely. What day is it in the present you came from? Huh? December 24th. Natsume nods. Got it. I'll take care of things with Fuyuka's echo tomorrow. Then on that day, I'll find you and explain everything. Promise? I promise. Okay, then I'm going back. Have a safe time, Warp. Shu presses the return button on his watch and the world around him fades away into the light. End of Memento. Period time reached. You are now being spoken to by a weird robot. Okay, what now? I don't think we need to do anything. I'm sort of in an awkward thing of where this is the last episode in my recording session, and I would end it, but I want to know what happens. And the only way of doing that is by making this episode longer. You could just record another episode. Let's just make this a special. It'll be fine. It's fine. After finishing with everything, Shu turns off the time machine and sits quietly in his room at his desk. Natsume said he'd find me and talk to me today about everything, so I'll trust in that and wait. Shu passes the time by sitting and thinking about what's happened in the last few weeks. I thought things were complicated enough before, but I really can't believe Natsume was doing so much stuff behind the scenes too. Why didn't Kisuke tell me? While Shu is pondering this last bit, he hears a knock at his door. Come in. Natsume opens the door and walks into the room. He looks around a bit. Where's Chiaki? He's out, I think? Anyways, don't worry about it. Okay. He pulls Chiaki's chair away from the desk and turns it so that the chair and Shu are facing each other. The two brothers are facing each other directly. A tense silence flows between them for some time. Neither wants to speak first. Finally, Natsume laughs sheepishly. I don't know where to start. Why don't you just start at the beginning then? Okay. Natsume takes a deep breath and then starts to tell his story. What? It'd be so evil if I fucking cut off now, wouldn't it? There are some people watching, like, in another tab who've just had to quickly go to another tab and go, this can't be the end of the episode! It's not. You're fine. Okay. Shu, when did you get your time machine? Let me think about that for a second. Shu tries to think back to when it all began. It was September after Masaharu was killed. Though it's only been 3 months, to Shu it feels like it's been an age has gone by. Why? I got mine in July. Natsume lets that sink in. You've been dealing with these echoes and murders all this time, alone? Natsume shakes his head, there weren't murders at first. Wait, but then why did you get your time machine at all? My future self from that alternate time stream came to me and said that your counterpart from his universe had travelled there. He said that it was going to cause a serious disturbance, one he could not really predict. I was to help him with research and keep an eye on things here. That was pretty interesting at first, but lonely. I couldn't talk to anyone about what I was doing, of course, and I was studying science way beyond what I knew. How did you learn all the science? The future you said you came up with new technology even, something about coordinates? Well, I travelled to the future. Natsume shifts in his seat uncomfortably as he says this. Wait, what? The future? You can do that? I thought... Wait. Yeah. I said that. I said that you could probably go to the future. Just saying. You just need a memento. Shu squeezes his eyes shut and concentrates his thoughts for a few moments. Okay, I guess I never said I couldn't. I just never thought of it. I can't believe I never thought of doing that myself. You mean you've just been jumping into the past all this time? Yeah. Anyway, just go on with your story. Sorry, sorry for interrupting. So, at first, we didn't understand about echoes. We didn't know that Fuyuka had gotten stuck in another time stream or anything like that. So, when I first saw the Fuyuka echo, I thought that the time travel was starting to affect my brain or something. It was only about after my future self and I analysed her more that we realised that she was. I tried to talk to her to see where the real Fuyuka had gotten to. Shu frowns. You can't talk to those echoes. They're like robots or zombies or something. They just repeat the same things without listening to you. Natsume sighs at the interruption. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Natsume. Well, the first one wasn't like that, you know. She was pretty sentient, or maybe I was just a lot more hopeful then. Anyway, when communication followed, we dispelled her, and that's when everything started. Masa died, Fuyuka's echo killed him. To be honest, I was barely holding on back then. I didn't know what to do. I was waiting for my future self to contact me when the time stream shifted, and it was like nothing had ever happened. Masaharu was alive and everything was fine, except I remembered. I couldn't understand what was happening until my future self came back, and we both concluded that there had to be another person with a time machine. Natsume scratches his head, looking a bit reluctant as he continues, You probably fooled everyone other than me, Shu. What do you mean fooled? With your pretending to act natural and normal, I mean, you remembered everything too, of course, but you had to pretend that you didn't. You didn't want to stand out, I get that, I had to do it too, but it's both because I was in a similar situation and because I'm your older brother that I could tell that there was something not right about your behaviour. I finally took note of your watch around when Chiaki died. When he was able to return, I described your watch to my future self and he confirmed that it was the same technology he'd invented, an older version of the time machine I have. So we figured that you were the other time traveller. This is some... Okay, so Kisuke worked without Natsume's knowledge, that means? Man, and we worked for the good as well, so there's no sinister undertones in what, like, we had imagined. Naturally, Shu is disappointed to have been found out so early, but he could not have fathomed that someone around him was watching so intently. Suppressing his indignation, he continues listening to Natsume. Since then, we've been watching you and trying to figure out exactly what you're doing, how you're involved with Fuyuka, how much you know. You didn't trust me, you don't trust me now. I don't know what to think, Natsume says delicately. He then sighs. Now that I'm back, it's even stranger for me. I I know that I'm alive, but I can still sort of remember the time that passed when I was in a coma. I don't want to believe that you had anything to do with Yukinari's death, much less Masaharu's or Chiaki's. So what do we do now? Why don't you say where you got it from? Like, holy shit, that would put so much... It won't be long before my future self makes contact again. We need to wait for him and then figure things out from there. I want you to take some time to think about what I've said, think about what's happened to you, and decide how much you feel about everything. It's a lot to process, and I know I've already overwhelmed you with information. I need some time to think about everything too. I feel like I don't really understand what's happening. I've been time traveling, but I don't really understand how or why. Why is all of this happening? Even as he asks, he knows the answer, because his future self in another timeline couldn't get his life together. He couldn't escape the past and was consumed with loneliness and despair that he risked the very fabric of time and space for his selfish whim. Natsume rises from his seat, then turns and pushes Chiaki's chair back. I hope we both get answers to our questions soon. He walks towards the door, but stops as he puts his hand on the doorknob. Shu, I know you must be very tired now. Please rest. I will. Don't worry, Natsume. Natsume leaves the room without another word. Shu exhales. Jeez, how long was I holding my breath? Feeling like a puppet whose string have been cut, Shu gets up and flops onto his bed face first. Did Natsume really think that I had something to do with the murders? Did I? No, because Fuyuka did them. There's just so many twists that could go on here. It could be anything. He feels strangely responsible for what has happened, knowing that it was his future self's actions that started everything in the first place. And then we went... No, feeling upset, conflicted, and adrift, Shu closes his eyes and tries his best to sleep. One day after Christmas, presuming they don't celebrate Christmas. The next day, Shu receives a text message from his brother. He's here. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Please come to my room as soon as you can. He wastes no time in getting to Natsume's room. Is this where he's like, I haven't seen Kyosuke for years or something? Hey Shu. Is it okay for us to just talk right here? Yukinari's going to be out for at least an hour. There shouldn't be any problems. Got it. So, how are you here? Our universe is emerging. It's a bad thing, sure, but it does have its benefits. Natsume here can leave me mementos, sort of like Hansel and Gretel leaving breadcrumbs to follow. Not all of them last the years, though, so it's a bit tricky getting to exactly where I want to be. I had some notes from today that I hid in the school building, and it just so happened that nobody ever found them. That sounds really annoying. We have to work with what we have. Time is complex, it is also finite, so we need to speak quickly. Even with merging timelines, we still have the proper coordinates mapped in order to travel between timelines. I was able to calculate the coordinates for this true universe, which is why I can come here. However, our main goal has been to locate this universe, is Fuyuka, and we haven't been able to figure out where she is. One theory was that you were involved with Fuyuka somehow, perhaps one of her echoes spoke to you and you were somehow able to speak to Fuyuka herself. Theory? Natsume shakes his head. Shu hasn't been in contact with Fuyuka. What? But that's not possible. Who gave you your time machine then? I got it from a guy named Kyosuke. He came from the future. Kyosuke? Do you recognize the name? Yeah, it's a common enough name to be sure, but I don't know anyone on our team with that name. There's no way Kyosuke should have access to a time machine. But presume it's a fake name or something like that. Is Kyosuke me from the future? What did Kyosuke look like? It could be. It could easily be me and Kyosuke from the future. So, Kyosuke is someone we don't know, or using a fake name, or a future us. Too many things to consider. Not in my universe anyway. The thing is, Shu's time machine is a prototype. It's the same as the one his future self stole from the lab. So, you got the time machine from yourself. No, it was Kyosuke. He doesn't look anything like me. He's this crafty looking guy with brown hair. Then a future Natsume shakes his head, looking puzzled. I have no idea who that is, but perhaps this Kyosuke is the only one who's involved with Fuyuka, or the other you. Didn't he come up, like, in messages? Didn't his... Show him the message! That's the same nose. That's the same nose. I swear. Does everyone have the same nose? Yeah, everyone has the same nose. Okay, that's why it's the same nose. Just show him that. I mean, it's there. Oh, whatever. I have no idea who that is, but yeah, perhaps he's involved with Fuyuka or the other you. He told me he was working with you in the future. He said that you two both decided I should have the watch. Definitely not true. What else did he tell you? What was his purpose? Is he from another timeline? Is this why this is confusing? I don't know, but he told me that I had to save people, that they were being murdered, but they weren't supposed to die. His story doesn't match up with yours at all. I mean, there was never actually a serial killer in the first place, was there? No, all of those deaths were caused by Fuyuka's echoes. This Kisuke guy lied to you. Just what was he trying to get at? Oh, you know, mementos have been disappearing from my time machine. What do you mean? Well, after I saved anyone, the memento I used to save them disappeared. Just that memento and nothing else. I asked Kisuke about it, and he just dismissed it as a glitch. Yeah, I said it was bullshit. What if he's actually been taking them? I didn't think that was possible, but you store memento data on your laptop, right? That's right. It's very easy to pull information out of time machines, but... Huh? What is it? I haven't heard from Kisuke in a really long time. He stopped communicating with me. Communicating? He used to send me little messages on my time machine. Shu shows them the last message from Kisuke about Yukinari's murder. Okay, finally, common sense. I should have doubted him, but he gave me this and I was so focused on saving everyone that I never really stopped to think deeper about what was going on. Luckily for you, I did. But if he hasn't been communicating with you lately, what are we going to do? We've been approaching this problem entirely the wrong way. What do you mean? We were trying to learn more about Fuyuka and her echoes. We thought we could use them to get the coordinates, but that was wrong. All this time, we should have just used Shu. What do you mean, used? Instead of trying to lock onto the coordinates of Fuyuka's time stream by using Fuyuka herself or her time stream, we can use the information from Shu's time machine. That's not functionality that time machines have right now. It's something my team and I can work on for sure. However, what? There is a possibility that it won't work. You two might end up in time limbo chasing after the location of those coordinates. Limbo? It's a vast empty space inside time where all you have to do is watch time pass around you in darkness. You don't want to end up there. You'll soon go mad. Future Natsume takes a deep breath before rising. Take some time to think things over, Shu. Would you mind if I had your time machine? We'll need it for the calculations. Shu hesitates for a moment, but ultimately removes his watch and hands it to him. Thank you for trusting me, Shu. I know it's hard, but you're my brother. I'll always believe in you. Evil music. Take your time to think. I shall be back soon. Shouldn't he just, return immediately? just a thought? Whatever. If we'd been honest with each other sooner, we could have figured this out long before now. Maybe Kisuke knew that. Maybe that's what he played on. He gambled on the fact that we weren't close and probably wouldn't tell each other anything. That's depressing. Yeah, but Natsume? Next time this sort of thing happens, I'll definitely tell you. This sort of thing? What, us having to save the universe? Shu grins. Yeah, you'll never know when we'll have to do that again. Back to the Future had 3 films, that's all I'm saying. I can just imagine what Masaharu would say to that. Shu doesn't know how to feel about everything that's been happening, but he feels that the pieces are finally starting to come together. That, if nothing else, is a comfort to him. A few hours later, Shu is sitting in the common room, watching TV when Masaharu comes up to him. Hey, get yourself ready, we have to go out. Huh? Why? Come on, the Kamen Rider Marathon just started. Mum and Dad called and they're back in Nagasaki for a visit. They want us to go home and have dinner with them. Is Natsume coming? Well, Masaharu scratches his head, looking uncomfortable. That tells Shu everything that he needs to know. Then I'm not going. Incensed even more by his parents' treatment of Natsume after learning all that Natsume has been doing to save everyone, Shu pulls out his cell phone and calls his mother immediately. Hi Mum, it's me. Is this one of those it's me scams? No, it's me, Shu, your son, your pride and joy. Pride and joy? Oh, Shu! Goodness, it's been so long since I've heard your voice that I almost forgot what it sounds like. Really? I'm not sure about that. What do you mean, almost? You completely forgot. I'm sorry, honey. Anyway, you coming for dinner tonight, aren't you? Only if Natsume is coming too. You invited him, right? He's the oldest. Don't you think it's kind of messed up that you called Masaharu instead? There's a sigh on the other line. I don't want to argue with you, not after so long. Then tell me what I want to hear. Alright, invite your older brother along, he's family after all. I'm going to tell him that you invited him. As you wish, please be on time. Shu hears a click and knows that the conversation is over. Mum's letting him come to dinner? I'm as surprised as you are. Yeah, maybe she's coming around. I mean, usually she's a lot more stubborn about it. Of course, I don't think it's right that Mum treat Natsume the way that she does either, but you know. I don't think we'll ever be able to really understand how she feels about Fuyuka's death. We're not parents. We've never experienced that kind of loss, so maybe you shouldn't be so harsh. I never thought of it that way before, but maybe that's why Natsume's so accepting of it. Masaharu nods. Are you going to tell him? I bet he's asleep or something. I'll go get him. Yeah, texting him's not going to work, let's face it. Shu goes to find Natsume, and as expected, he's passed out on bed. Best of luck waking him. You don't have the years of experience I do. Expecting this, Shu has come armed with a cup of ice, but just as he gets closer to bed, Natsume opens his eyes. Shu? What is it? Was he just pretending to be asleep? Yes, yeah, he was. Mum and Dad are back in town and we're having dinner with them, so hurry up and get ready. Mum and Dad, I think they'd prefer that I not. Mum invited you personally. Natsume's eyes widen in disbelief. Did she really? I love how we just all admitted that we weren't going to lie to each other anymore, and here I am lying to Natsume. Yes. Shu refuses to admit that he played a large part in it, but his brother seems to know anyway. Natsume smiles lopsidedly and pats Shu's head. Thanks, Shu. Alright, I'll go get ready. This isn't going to be like a really awkward dinner at all, is it? Back to there. Oh, right, okay, we're still on our way. Okay. Here's hoping we don't get there and the parents are dead, because at this point, anything could fucking happen.